Good evening, it's 8 o'clock. The top headlines tonight. Well, petrol today is at record highs in Mumbai, Kolkata and Chennai, our major cities. Let's talk fuel prices, says the opposition in Parliament. The petroleum minister speaks. He says the rise in India's fuel prices is less than most countries at this time. In Sri Lanka, Prime Minister Rajapaksa's party loses parliamentary majority. Students march in hundreds in Colombo saying, "Go Rajapaksa's go." Meanwhile, Sri Lanka shuts its embassies in Norway and Iraq. Major meat shops in Delhi are shut down for Navaratri after an order by BJP mayors. No comment from Delhi's AAP government. Let us decide what we eat. Customers speak out. Meanwhile, a BJP MP now says the meat ban should be across India during Navaratri. Parliament passes a bill merging Delhi civic bodies. Today, the bill is passed in Rajya Sabha after Lok Sabha. So, from 3 Delhi Municipal Corporations, they will now be merged into one. The Home Minister versus Congress's Abhishek Singhvi debate in the Rajya Sabha. Mass graves, genocide in Ukraine. The President Zelensky will address the United Nations Security Council later tonight. The human cost, this child refugee with her address written on her back. Meanwhile, Russia digs in, now moving to East Ukraine. Well, our lead story tonight, it's become the 80 paise daily nightmare. And now petrol prices are at a record high in 3 of India's major cities, Mumbai, Chennai and Kolkata. They've been actually crossing the record highs now for the last 4 days. For more, let's go across to Sohit and Sam. Sohit, what's it like in Mumbai? Prices here nearly at 120 rupees. It's the highest Mumbai has ever seen.
Well, absolutely, Sonia. In fact, the prices have risen by 10 rupees in the last 15 days. And if you see as of now, if we talk about the Mumbai, in Mumbai, the petrol price is near 120 a litre in Mumbai region. The petrol price was hiked by 84 paise to a new high of 119 rupees 67 paise per litre in the city on Tuesday. Diesel was hiked by 85 paise to 103 rupees and 92 paise at the city pumps. And as you see, if someone is say purchasing petrol for 100 rupees, he is not even getting a litre, it is 84 paise. पेट्रोल डीजल के जो दाम लगातार बढ़ रहे हैं, किस तरह का आपके ऊपर असर पड़ा है? 100 रुपए में तो 1 लीटर पेट्रोल भी अभी नहीं आ रहा।
क्या कर सकते हैं उसमें? अपना कोई प्रॉब्लम ही नहीं है। रशिया में भाव बढ़ते जा रहा है, तो हम अपने जैसे क्या कर सकते हैं?
रशिया में दाम बढ़ रहा है, इसके वजह से हो रहा है। तो आप पे इसका प्रभाव पड़ रहा है कि किस तरह से हो रहा है?
नहीं, अभी इसका तो पूरे देश को ही प्रभाव झेलना पड़ेगा इसके बारे में।
So people are saying that Russia is responsible for this. There are other people also who have been talking and who have been complaining about that. In fact, we also spoke to few people who are delivering food via bikes, and they use petrol every day, and it is impacting their own pockets as well. And if you see over here, majority of people who are coming, they aren't even buying more petrol. They are just buying it for 100 rupees because they don't know what would be happening in the next few days. So this is what is happening as of now. In fact, Congress leaders have said that they will be protesting, where all the MPs, all the MLAs of Congress on Thursday will march from Chaitya Bhumi in Dadar to Shivaji Park, where they will be protesting against the rise in the petrol and diesel prices. So Congress has said that they will be taking this on road and demanding that the prices of petrol and diesel should be brought down. As of now in Mumbai, what we can say that it is at a record high of 119 rupees 67 paise if we talk about petrol, and it would be important to see what happens tomorrow, because in the last 15 days the prices of petrol has been rising by 10 rupees if we talk about Mumbai.
What is happening in Chennai? Because I mean, really the situation is the same across, but you know, it really, when petrol and fuel prices go up, it hits every aspect of our lives, whether it's food delivery, whether it's transport of essential items. So it's petrol or much above 100, so all the focus on that, but diesel, of course, not far behind either.
That's right, Sonia. Even those who own diesel vehicles are not happy about the rise. And we come from a bank at Mylapore. The price in Chennai has crossed 110 rupees today, and this is almost 10 rupee high compared to the price alone 2 weeks ago. And many say, particularly those poor people and lower middle classes, they say a significant part of their earnings go for fuel now. And with me, Srikanth, who works for a local CCTV company. Srikanth, how does it impact you?
It's very difficult to survey our life because we are getting very less salary for getting more petrol and all. That is very difficult to survey actually. This is actually very drastic changes for...
Does your company pay you for any fuel allowance? Do they take into account the price rise?
Sorry?
Does your company pay you more for this?
Yeah, completely. This is different actually. That more different actually. Yeah.
Who should bring down the price? Central government or state government? Because the DMK promised 5 rupee cut. They brought it down only by 3 rupees.
Yeah, of course, is it the government, state, not state government, actually the central government only will come down the prices. Because they only decision taken, we enforce it. In Tamil Nadu, those struggle for this petrol prices. We, day by day will increase, means we can't survey now. So that's why problem.
The parliament, the government today has said, compared to the price rise in other countries like US, in India, they only increased it slightly, marginally.
Yeah, that why you compare that to the other country? Because we are comparing to our country, they 10 times more actually going forward the industry. But our country is 10 times backward. So please don't comparing to other countries because we are not survey, no.
Lastly, is there a change the way you use your vehicle now? Are you reducing your usage?
Yeah, we are reducing because we can't put petrol for on daily basis. We have survey of the motor vehicle, so we can't drive, no. So we have emergency purpose, we take it. Yeah.
Let's ask this gentleman, how does it impact the price rise, the fuel price hike?
So we are really affecting.
Are you reducing your usage?
Yeah. Because of the...
All right. So Sonia, a slice of what people think about the fuel price hike, and it's an uncertain situation, particularly those belonging to the poorer strata of society. They say a significant part of their earnings go for petrol and they don't have any provision to earn more, nor do their employees pay them more. And they say they depend either on public transport, and those even owning cars, they say they are switching to two-wheelers or for carpooling because they cannot really afford this kind of a hike day by day. Sonia.
Right, Sohit and Sam, thanks for joining us there. But let's just go across to what happened in Parliament on this. Well, there was a furor in the opposition ranks saying, let's discuss fuel prices. Here's what the petroleum minister said. He said that given the Ukraine war, the fact remains that in India, the price rises are much less than that in other major countries. However, key ally, the Janata Dal United, says that petrol and diesel prices must come down.
We have raised the price of petrol by, I think, 9 rupees over 12 or 13 days when the international prices shot up. Now, I have something, sir. Gasoline at the pump, comparison between April 21 and March 22, in USA the increase percentage is 51%. In Canada, 52%. In Germany, 55%. UK, 55%. France, 50%. Spain, 58%. Sri Lanka, 55%. India, sir, 5%.
Yes,
our percentage increase is 1/10 of what it is elsewhere.
नहीं, ऐसे क्राइसिस पहले भी वर्ल्ड वाइड हुए हैं और तब भी हम लोग इन दामों को नियंत्रण करने में कामयाब हुए हैं। खाली इस तर्क के आधार पर हम अपने करोड़ों करोड़ जो उपभोक्ता हैं उनके जीवन को संकट में नहीं डाल सकते।
Every day approximately 1 rupee price of petrol is being hiked. This is okay as far as big executives or rich people are concerned who are driving Mercedes. It is becoming extremely difficult to sustain under this situation.
बहुत दिक्कत आ रहा है सर, अपना ग्रेड ही मैंने गिरा दिया है। पहले कार से आना जाना करता था, अब स्कूटर में आ गया हूँ।
अपना जो भी एनुअल इनकम रहता है, वो मंथली इनकम रहता है, उसमें अभी सर्वाइव करना बहुत डिफिकल्ट हो रहा है बिकॉज प्राइस इतने हाई हो चुके हैं कि बाइक चलाए ना चलाए वही अभी सोचने की बात हो रही है।
पॉकेट मनी बचा है कि पेट्रोल भरे वो समझ में नहीं आ रहा है। एंड ऑल ऑफ सडन पहले कैसे होता था कि चलो बजट फ्रेंडली थे तो 100 रुपीज़ में भी कभी भी निकल सकते थे, कि अभी पर बहुत सोचना पड़ता है। अभी ऐसे लग रहा है कि इलेक्ट्रिक बाइक्स ही लास्ट ऑप्शन है।
नॉट बेरेबल फॉर एवरीबडी and it has to be reduced.
You know, the lower class, you know, these auto drivers and the cab drivers, they're going to hit really bad. So I think it would be really nice if the government could do some concessions to those.
So the rising fuel prices is what the people of India are talking about. But what are India's netas talking about? They're talking about no meat during the religious festival of Navaratri. They're talking about whether azan should be on loudspeakers or the Hanuman Chalisa. They're talking about halal meat. Is this really what India cares about at this point? Or is it all about elections, given that the elections coming up in Karnataka, the municipal corporations of Delhi, and in Mumbai, the Mumbai Civic Corporation elections?
Petrol and diesel prices are spiraling, but municipality elections in Delhi and Mumbai mean that it's communal divisive issues which are being raked up. In Delhi, meat shops have shut at the high-end INA market, and some restaurants aren't serving non-vegetarian food after the BJP mayor of the local municipality called for a ban on the sale of meat during Navaratri. 65-year-old Manjeet Kaur, who runs the meat shop, estimates her loss at over 1 lakh rupees.
ये मेरे फादर इन लॉ जब से पाकिस्तान से आए यही काम कर रहे हैं।
तो मतलब पहली बार ऐसा कोई ऑर्डर आया है कि मटन शॉप पे?
नहीं, फर्स्ट टाइम। मेरे को भी 25 साल हो गए यहाँ बैठते, कभी ऑर्डर ही नहीं दिया। जहाँ स्टार्टिंग में देते हैं, भी हम नराते हैं, मार्केट ही नहीं खुलेगी। अब मंडे को 2 दिन का माल आता है, मंडे ट्यूसडे, और दोनों दिन का माल बेकार जाएगा। अलाइव चिकन होता है, तो हमारा तो नुकसान है ना। या तो संडे को बता देते, अब मंडे ट्यूसडे का माल नहीं मिला।
चिकन लेने के लिए यहाँ पे आया था। मेरा चिकन यहीं से सप्लाई जाता है। मैं रोज़ यहाँ से ख़रीदता हूँ चिकन अपने रेस्टोरेंट के लिए। तो आया, मैंने देखा दुकान बंद है। जो यहाँ पे ओनर हैं, जिनकी दुकान से चिकन लेता हूँ, उनको पूछा, वो कह रहे हैं आप देख लो, आपको 5-6 दिन और स्ट्रगल करना पड़ेगा क्योंकि शॉप तो बंद रहने का ऑर्डर है।
कस्टमरों में, ठीक है ना, तो ये दुकान कभी बंद नहीं हुआ कभी भी। यार पहले बार ऐसे होगा, पता नहीं क्या।
The South Delhi Mayor Mukesh Suryan claims he has taken the decision based on a survey he conducted, but hasn't shared details of this. Yet he says he will strictly implement his ban, stating that meat shops cause hygiene issues in surrounding areas.
ये फैसला तो अच्छा है और आपको दिखाना चाहता हूँ, लोग आके मिठाई खिला करके जा रहे हैं और जो ओनर्स हैं उन्होंने भी इस फैसले का स्वागत किया है। उसका एक हमने फैसला लिया और हम इसको इम्प्लीमेंट भी कर रहे हैं। मैं आपको चैनल के माध्यम से बताना चाहता हूँ।
The East Delhi Mayor, also of the BJP, is following suit. All this ahead of the proposed reunification of the MCD and elections of the civic body.
मीट विक्रेताओं से निवेदन है कि इन दिनों में पूर्वी दिल्ली नगर निगम में जितने भी मीट विक्रेता हैं वे अपनी दुकानों को बंद रखें। इसमें आपसी सौहार्द बढ़ेगा, एक दूसरे के त्योहार का सम्मान होगा।
The order by SDMC to shut down meat shops is being veiled as an order to respect the sentiments of a community during Navaratri and an issue of hygiene. However, it is more of an assault on right to choice. And equally concerning is the fact that because of this diktat, lakhs of people across the national capital are now set to incur financial losses. In Mumbai, the BJP as well as MNS have begun protests against azan over loudspeakers. A local BJP leader has promised a free loudspeaker for any temple. Elections in Mumbai's municipality, which is the country's richest, are expected to be held next month. And the opposition MNS raised the issue of loudspeakers on mosques, which the BJP welcomed.
गृह विभाग की यही भूमिका है, किसी ने भी समाज में एक डिस्टेंस निर्माण करने के लिए ऐसी कोई भी कृति नहीं करनी चाहिए, नहीं होना चाहिए। इसके बारे में भी आज मैंने कुछ चर्चा रखी है।
Shiv Sena, which has been doing the Hindutva politics, is in power in BMC for the last 25 years, and that's the reason why BJP and MNS both are attacking Shiv Sena on the issue of Hindutva.
With camera person Praveen Rohit, Sushil Rathi, and correspondent Sohit Mishra in Mumbai, Akshay Dongre for NDTV.
Well, let's go across now live where the Ukrainian President Zelensky is addressing the UN Security Council. This comes after claims of genocide as mass graves have been discovered in Ukraine, says the Ukrainian President.
Columns of civilians on the road trying to escape from the territory of hostilities. They even deliberately blow up shelters where civilians hide from airstrikes. They are deliberately creating conditions in the temporarily occupied territories so that as many civilians as possible possible are killed there. The massacre in our city of Bucha is only one, unfortunately, only one of many examples of what the occupiers have been doing on our land for the past 41 days. And there are many more cities, similar places where the world has yet to learn the full truth. Mariupol, Kharkiv, Chernobyl, Tyrka, Borodyanka, and dozens other Ukrainian communities. Each of them is similar to Bucha. I know, and you know perfectly well, what the representatives of Russia will say in response to the accusations of these crimes. They have said that many times. The most significant was after the shooting down of the Malaysian Boeing over Donbass by Russian forces with Russian weapons, or during the war in Syria. They will blame everyone just to justify their own actions. They will say that there are various different versions, and it is impossible to establish which one of those versions is true. They will even say that the bodies of those kills were allegedly thrown away, and all videos are staged. But it is 2022 now. We have conclusive evidence, so there are satellite images. We can conduct full and transparent investigation. That is what we are interested in. Maximum access for journalists, maximum cooperation with international institutions, involvement of the International Criminal Court, complete truth and full accountability. I'm sure that every member state of the UN should be interested in this. For what? In order to punish once and for all those who consider themselves privileged and believe that they can get away with anything. So show all the other potential war criminals in the world how they will be punished. If the biggest one is punished, then everyone is punished. Why did Ukraine come to Ukraine? I will tell you, because Russia's leadership feels like colonizers. In ancient times, they need our wealth, our people. Russia has already deported hundreds of thousands of our citizens to their country. They abducted more than 2,000 children, just simply conducted those children and continue to do so. Russia wants to turn Ukraine into silent slaves. The Russian
So there, the Ukrainian President Zelensky addressing the UN Security Council live and making the important point that what he says is genocide is being carried out by a member of the UN Security Council, Russia. Russia, of course, has denied this, but the pictures, the visuals and the reports coming out right now from those mass graves is something which is very, very hard to deny. Meanwhile, let's move now to what's happening in Sri Lanka, where it seems the people of Colombo, the people of Sri Lanka are not going to rest till the Sri Lankan Rajapaksas are out of power. Today, Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa's government has lost parliamentary majority. Students are marching towards the President's Secretariat as we speak. Even tonight, they are all surrounding the President's Secretariat, the Prime Minister's house. The students are out there. The US State Department has appealed that Sri Lanka not take repressive measures against the protesters. Today, Sri Lanka also shut its embassies down in Norway and Iraq as the crisis there worsens.
President Gotabaya Rajapaksa's party lost its majority in the parliament. This after 41 lawmakers decided to become independent. Sri Lankan parliament met for the first time on Tuesday since the emergency to conduct a vote to determine the majority. The country is going through the worst economic crisis since its independence in 1948. The new finance minister quit today in less than 24 hours after being appointed. The last finance minister was the president's brother, Basil Rajapaksa. Amidst the growing economic crisis and political turmoil in Sri Lanka, a man in a police uniform was spotted supporting the protesters in Kotawa town in Colombo on Monday. He can be seen and heard chanting, "We are with you," even though we are in uniform. The police, however, said that they were yet to ascertain the identity of the man who joined the protests. Kids as young as 8-year-olds holding placards that read "Thank you for fighting for our future" sent out an emotional message that the common man are in deep distress. This stretch of road where over thousands of protesters converged was the road leading to the parliament. Sensing trouble, the cops shut the entry to the parliament. At the same time, the lawyers protested demanding the resignation of the president. While the government has collapsed in Sri Lanka, the Sri Lanka embassies have also temporarily shut in Oslo, Baghdad and a consulate general in Sydney as well. In fact, the entire country paints a very grim picture as far as the economic revival is concerned. On one hand, you have several people, including children and adults, protesting right outside the minister's residence, including the Prime Minister and the President. On the other hand, you have long queues right outside fuel stations and also cooking gas distribution centres for buying essentials. In Bengaluru, Shrija for NDTV.
Well, moving to today's big parliament headline, well, the bill to merge the 3 municipal corporations in Delhi into one has been passed by the Rajya Sabha today. So that means parliament has now passed this bill. Union Home Minister Amit Shah today spoke in Rajya Sabha, accusing the Aam Aadmi Party government in Delhi of giving stepmotherly treatment to the municipal corporations which are currently run by the BJP. The Congress's Abhishek Singhvi rebutted, saying that this bill made no sense.
आप पार्टी की चुनी हुई सरकार के सौतेले मां जैसे व्यवहार के कारण ये निगम ढंग से काम नहीं कर रहे हैं। मान्यवर, तीनों निगमों के बीच में नीतियों के रूप में समानता लाना बहुत जरूरी है और वो तभी हो सकता है जब ये तीनों निगमों को एक कर पूर्ववत स्थिति बहाल की जाए। इसलिए मैं इसको लेकर आया हूं।
It is constitutionally suspect. It is legally untenable. It is administratively blunderous, and it is politically hypocritical. This bill is about control, and more control by a control freak sarkar.